I cannot believe how quickly this week has gone by and that it is Wednesday night. Anyhow, so again, we're going to be playing with the Happy Hedgehogs. As you can see, this is a really fun set to build your card with, and there is some coloring involved, and so that's always fun when you need a relaxing night. And I have been working on this card tonight. This was pretty relaxing, just what I needed. So this set comes with a punch, as I have said already. So I'll be showing you a really cool technique using the punch with the hedgehog. And then I will show you the stamp set that we're going to be using. So it says Happy Hedgehogs. It's so nice of you to be so nice. So this will be perfect too for a thank you card for this sentiment. Finding a friend is the best discovery of all. And so we're going to be using this sentiment on the outside. In just a second, I'll show you what I'm going to be doing on the inside of the card. So we've got this cute little bird holding a flower. We've got two little hedgehogs. So something I want to point out, as you can see there is two hedgehogs. There's a smaller one and there's a bigger one. So the bigger one is the one that's actually going to be used in the punch. So the small one, if you do want to have that, cut out, you have to cut that out. You have to fussy cut that. So it's only the big one that you can use with the punch. And so I'm going to show you something really cool too with this top piece up here. So we've got the tree, we've got the mushroom, the butterfly, and then we've got the grass as well. So we'll be playing with that. And as I said, the inside, I actually am going to be using this sentiment that is glad you're my friend. So this is the Friends of the Forest, which is in the new January to June mini catalog. Hey Amber, thanks for joining me tonight. So I just posted on my page, I am going to be doing a in-person event, so I'm super excited. It is March and it's been a long winter, and I definitely need to have people over again, get some socialization outside of work. So I'm going to be doing an in-person class, and so the technique that you see me using tonight, we're using the blender pens. Now these blender pens are in the annual catalog, and you get 3 of them in a pack. They all do the same thing. There's no difference in any of these pens. They all have the same tips. It's just really nice that you get 3 of them to be able to use. And you don't need each one for a specific color. As you'll see tonight, I just have one that I use over and over and over again with all of the colors. So, you get 3 of them. And so I'm going to be doing an in-person class, and so I'm only going to keep it at 3 people, just so we can have a little bit smaller of a class, be able to do a little bit more one-on-one, and play with the blender pen. So it's $12 for my class. You'll be making 3 cards, and you'll have the option of picking either one of these stamp sets, and I will set up the layout, the design of the card, and then you'll be able to play with either one of these, and you'll get a blender pen as part of the class. And the technique that you'll see me doing tonight is what you'll be doing in the class. So just wanted to make sure and clarify that if you're local to me and you're wanting to participate in the class. I saw, as soon as I put it up, I already have 1 signed up. I see Tara's number 2, so I have 1 more spot available for this class. So if you like coloring, you want to come out and just relax with me, we'll have a little bit of fun. So I'm excited about it. So again, that's March 24th. It's a Thursday night from 6:30 to 8:30. So I just wanted to show you in the annual catalog. So Tara, if you go after, when we're done with the live video, just go on the event and just click going so that I know that you are signed up. If you don't get a chance to, I'll see if I can do it on my end. Alright. So let's just, I'm going to show you some of the things in the catalog. So I'll be showing you this embossing folder, and it is the greenery embossing folder. If you order the greenery pack, it comes with 2 of them. So the top one, let me pull this up so you can see this a little bit better. It has some of the leaves just in the corners, and the middle is all plain solid. And then you'll get another embossing folder, which is this one, and it just has all of the leaf look. So I wanted to show you where it is in the catalog, because I'm going to be showing you something really cool with this, with the hedgehog. And that is on page 154, and it is in the bottom corner. So keep that in mind. And then the blender pens are on page 129, and again, it's only $12, and you get 3 of them. So that is an awesome deal. Okay, so the Stampin Write markers. So I finally broke down and bought some of these. I have a bunch of them, but they're from like 20 years ago, believe it or not. So I've had them for, but I can't. Yes, Julie, you can have a one-on-one. We can do it. We'll definitely do that. Alright, so the Stampin' Writes these are not the Stampin' Blends that you've seen me use through a lot of these live videos over and over. So these ones, you get a 2-pack, you get a light and a dark, and these are awesome for blending. When you're coloring and you're using, you start out with your light and then you go over with your darker one, and these two, they blend together. And I'll be using that with the Hedgehog, so I'll show you what I mean by that. So you're going to get a 2-pack when you order the blends, but these are alcohol based. So these, when you're coloring, they tend to spread when they're coloring. So these are water based. So these are a little bit different. But these, when you color, it's just coloring. There's no light and there's no dark. So all of these markers as well coordinate with the ink pads. They coordinate with the paper, just like the blends do, and, with the re-inkers. So on page 126, you'll see at the very last column is the Stampin' Write markers and assortment. So these are $30 a pack, but you get 10, one of each color of the bright, neutrals, regals, and the subtles. So the pack that I am going to be playing with tonight is the brights. So I chose to get this as my first one, and then I was gonna, next time I order, do the the browns and the grays in there. But I just thought this was, with it being springtime, there's a lot of great colors in this pack, so I've ordered that one. So that's the one that we're going to be playing with tonight, is the bright colors. And those are really pretty. So even with the in colors, you also get a pack of 5 in there, of the in colors, and it's only $15 for the 5. So it's a really great price point, I think. I signed up multiple places. Okay, I'll double check that, Tara, at the end, for sure. Another thing that I wanted to mention while I have this open to the colors is, speaking of the in colors, so these right here on the right hand side are the 2020 to 2022 in colors. So that means that these are going to be retiring this year. And this catalog, which is the annual catalog, is only good until April 2022, and I'm not exactly sure the exact date, so I'm not even going to try to guess that. I almost believe it's the end of the month. So these in colors, the Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade, Bumblebee, Magenta Madness, and Misty Moonlight, these 5 right here are the ones that are going to be retiring. And I have to say, I am so sad about that, because I love these colors and I use them a lot. So, but I'm also excited to see what colors they come out with. Every year they come out with new colors, and they're good for 2 years. They keep them out for 2 years. So right now, the 2021 to 2023, these 5 right here will be retiring next year, and then they'll come out with 5 new colors. So, all right. So with all that being said, move that up. So I'll show you real quick in the mini catalog. So the stamp set that we're using tonight is on page 64. And as you can see, there's the stamp set. And then there's also the punch, which we will be using both of those tonight. So you can buy the stamp set separate, or just the punch if you want just the punch, or you can buy it as a bundle. If you have any questions about anything that I've said, you can just put that in the comments. Excuse me. And I will do my best to answer them. And I also just had one more quick question before we move on to the card. So I have 2 stamp sets, and I just wanted to know if you guys could just help me. I'll see what the most vote is for next week's card. Should I do this gumball greeting? So this is the gumball machine. So would you like to see this set next week, or the Easter Friends with the bunny and the chicks? So just let me know what you think I should do for next week's video. We'll take a vote, see what the most votes are, and then that is the set that I will do for next week. So it's either the gumball greetings or the Easter Friends. And let me know what you think. Alright, so moving on to our fun technique. I'm super excited to be showing you this. So we've got our happy hedgehogs. Let's start with the base actually before we start stamping. So this is Pool Party. So this is a fun fold card that we are going to be making. So I've got the scallop dies from the contour scallops, and it opens left and then right. So I thought this would be a really fun fold to make tonight. So I wanted to, I know, Becky, it is a very hard choice. That's why I thought I'd put it out there. But it looks like Easter is winning, so it's probably what I'll end up doing. So I'm going to show you, I haven't scored anything. I'm going to show you how I did that and how I scored it. So I've cut the paper at 5.5 by 8.5. So I've already cut that down. So pretty much it's a full sheet, just cut right in half. So we're going to get our paper trimmer out. And we're going to be using our scoring. Pull it down just a little bit. So I am going to be doing the first flap on the left. So a card is typically 4 1/4 wide. So I'm going to score it in half at 2 1/8. So with our paper trimmer, it comes with the scoring blade and it comes with the cutter, which I absolutely love this trimmer because it does both things. I don't have to have two different things to be able to go back and forth, and I can do it all in the same place. So again, it's at 2 1/8, and I'm going to be using my scoring tool to do our left flap. So I've got that done. So I'm actually going to turn it around and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So it's 2 1/8. So pretty much it's at the 2. If you look at the 2 inches, you're just going to count over 2 lines, and that is 2 1/8. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to get my bone folder out, and we're going to make those creases. Stampin' Up! Paper is super thick, and it is a great quality paper. So you're definitely going to want your bone folder, or even use the side of your scissors. You just want to make sure and get that crease in there. So I have cut down, this is actually from the tulip paper, and so I'm just using the back. I thought this was kind of pretty, how it's kind of like that tie-dye ombre look. So I thought that was really cool. So I've trimmed that down, and I've trimmed it down to 2 inches by 4 inches. So we're going to glue those down. Hey Chrissy, thank you so much for sharing my post. So we've got our liquid Tombow glue. We'll put one down on the left and one down on the right side. There we go. I love this glue because it's a very strong adhesive. And I don't have to worry about when I'm sending somebody a card, pieces coming off. Once it's on there, it is stuck on there. Alright, so we've got that done. I've already taken my scallop piece and I've put it through the embossing machine. So our small embossing machine that we have a large one and we have a small mini one. So this is the mini one. So the contour, it's the scallop contour set. Show you what those dies look like. So all of these go through it except for the very largest one. So the reason why I'm saying that is because this mini machine is 20% off for the month of March until March 31st. And so instead of it being $60, they've marked it down to $48. If you are a demonstrator, you will get your 20 or 25% off on top of that. So that's a really great buy. So I just wanted to make sure and point out, these all do go through this machine except for the largest one. It does not. So if you are interested in a machine and you have any questions, you can message me or just put them in the comments. So now we're going to do the fun part, which is building our stamp. I love when they send these type of stamp sets because it's really fun to be able to build your scene of what you want. So first we're going to start with our tree. And I'm going to be using the black Memento ink, and we're going to stamp everything, and then I'm going to go back through with the markers and show you something really fun. Okay, so here is our tree. We'll ink that all up. So this Tuxedo Black Memento ink is a fast drying ink, so that is why I've chosen to use it. It is my preferred choice of ink as far as the black. Alright, so I'm lining up the grass to where the stitch is on the bottom. And my tree is going to be off a little bit, and that's totally okay. As you can see on the sample, it is off a little bit. I have it over, and that's alright. Want to make sure and get my sentiment in there, leave room for it. So I'm going to do the best I can with my stamping. I have the camera right above my head. Alright, I think that is good. Get that all pressed in there really good. Awesome. Alright, I'm actually going to need this block. Oh, that's so awesome, Tara. I'm so excited for you. You're absolutely going to love it, I promise. I know you played with mine. I love our embossing machines. Alright, so let's get that off the block. We're going to stamp our sentiment. I'm actually going to get a smaller block. So this is the C block. So this bigger one is, I don't have my glasses on, it's an E. I actually had to go to the doctor's like a month ago, and I'm only 43, but I can't believe it. I actually had to get readers. I'm having a harder time reading small print right in front of me. Alright, so we're stamping. Finding a friend is the best discovery at all. I've got some pretty amazing friends out there. Let's see. We need some scrap paper. I've got some scrap paper here. We're going to stamp our butterfly. I'm going to use this tiny little block. This is an A block. It is so small. It's one of my favorite blocks. I just think it's so stinking cute. I think I say that every time I do my live video. I'll probably keep saying it because I just think it's so cute. Alright, so we're going to stamp our little butterfly. This I am going to fussy cut out because we are going to put a little mini dimensional and have that popping out of a tree, on the tree. Alright, so I don't need these, so I'm actually going to set those aside. Let's finish the black ink up and let's do our hedgehog. I want to call him a possum. I have to keep like stopping and thinking about what I'm saying. Alright, so again, as you heard me, if you're joining me now and you didn't catch it at the beginning of the video, so this hedgehog set comes with two hedgehogs. There's a large one and there's a smaller one. So we're going to be using our punch in punching out our hedgehog. So we're actually going to be using the bigger hedgehog. The smaller one, unfortunately, has to be fussy cut if you want that, you know, cut out. So we're going to be using our big one. We'll ink them all up because we're going to color them in brown. Awesome. So I'm actually going to do him one more time because I wanted to show you guys a really cool tip using that embossing folder. So I've stamped them all out because I want to be able to see his face. That's why we're stamping it on here, and I know the hair is on there. Just kind of moving things around as I go so that I have a little room. Okay. So I'll just show you really quick. So I've already run this through the embossing machine. So this is crumb cake. This is a lighter brown. And then I've already put my, like I said, putting this already through my machine. This is called soft suede. So as you can see, it's got all of the, it's embossed, so it's raised. It's got all of the leaves on there. It's really pretty. So if you wanted to, and you wanted it to be more three-dimensional, this is a really cool trick that I found online. We're going to cut this in half. So you want to make sure that you've got a little bit of paper to be able to hold when you're going to put this in the punch. So I'm just lining it up. Oh, this is perfect. So it's going to leave a little bit of an edge around what you stamped. So I'm lining it up with the feet, the nose, and then I'm kind of looking at the top. So you're probably wondering what the two little dots are, so that you could punch out and use those as the eyes if you wanted to on the hedgehog, but I'm going to leave it like this. So now with the top one, you can take your emboss piece, put that in. You could angle it if you wanted to. You could go straight up and down. I think I'm going to angle mine a little bit and punch it out. So this top piece you could actually overlay over. We'll just glue them right on there. Put that right on top, line that right up. You could also use your mini dimensionals if you wanted to. But isn't that really cute? It looks like his hair. I thought that looked really I thought that was really neat. Hi, Betty. So I thought that was super cute. Let me know what you think about that. So that is something fun that you can do with your punch as well. So with him, I'm actually going to color him with the blending pen, just so that I can explain that a little bit. So again, when you order your blending pens, you're going to get one pack of two. So you're going to get a light marker and you're going to get your dark marker. So you want to start with your light marker first, and you're coloring everything in. If you keep going over what you've already colored, it's going to get darker. So we've got our light. Now we're going to do our darker one. I'm actually just going to go over his hair. Get a little bit of his hair on the bottom of his body. I think he's just so stinking adorable. Alright. Go around his ear. And now I'm just kind of blending it all in. Coloring the rest in, I should say. Alright, so I've kind of taken the dark a little bit along his belly, the shadow a little bit. So you want to take your light and you kind of want to go back over it. Because as you can see right now, you can see the line of the dark. So you're going to take the light and just go back over it. And it just blends it all in. So that is one of the nice things about the blends. Is being able to use that light and dark and being able to, and as you can see, I blended it all in, so you can't really see that line like you could see it before. Alright. So I learned a really cool trick. So I didn't leave enough room to get my paper in there. So I did learn something really cool. So if you take a Post-it note, and we're actually just going to put it right on the edge, you'll be able to hold your Post-it note and put that back in so that you'll have something to hold on to when you're punching. If you find that you've cut your paper too small, so that is a really cool tip, is to put your Post-it on your paper and you'll just hold this to punch. That'll give you a little bit of extra paper. So we're gonna punch him out. And he is really cute. So another thing with these blends, it is because it's alcohol based, it is going to seep through your paper. So you're going to find when I'm coloring with the Stampin' Write, they do not blend through the paper as these do. Alright. So I'm actually going to use this big block for my Stampin' Write. And I think I'm going to just keep it with the similar colors that I did. Let's do the pink for the flowers. Pull those out. So I'm going to take the pink for the flowers. And for this, I want to make sure every time I am using the brush. So just like the blend, they have a brush on one side and there's a tip on the other. The blends are the same thing. So I'm actually going to take my brush and I'm just going to squiggle a little bit on my block. And it won't dry up. So we're going to use the purple and I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm just coloring a little bit on my block. So you do need an acrylic block for this technique as well. We're going to use the Granny Apple Green. We want our brush side. And how about purple? We have purple on there. And we have pink. So I think we're good for the moment. Till we stamp the inside. I'm going to be using one of my blends for the tree itself. I find it's easier coloring with when I'm just doing a little bit of a swiping motion with the brush part. So I'm actually just gonna do the tree stuff. And I'm just doing quick little strokes. I think that is it. I got that. Alright, awesome. Hey, Catherine. Alright, so let's find my blender brush. So again, we're using a blender brush. It doesn't matter which side, both tips are the same. So this is a water base. So you want to keep in mind when you're using a blender pen, I'm just using regular white, basic white paper. I'm not using watercolor paper. You could if you wanted to, but I'm not for this project. But when you're using a blender pen, it is water. It is water. You don't want to be coloring in the same spot over and over and over and over and over because it will bring up the paper, and so you don't want that to happen. So all I'm doing is I'm just doing some really quick coloring with this. So let's start with the flowers. I'm going to start with the pink. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to put it in there, and I'm just doing a little bit of a circular motion. So because it is very dark and I haven't used it yet, it's going to be really dark on my brush. So if you don't want it to be super dark, you can just take some of it off a little bit. But one of the nice things about using a blender brush is that you have control over your coloring, whether it's dark or it's light. And it's really cool because it actually looks like a watercolor. So this is a really simple way without having to do all the fuss of brushing and stuff. So I'm actually just going to do some quick motion. So as you can see right now, it is super dark, and that's alright. Flowers are all different shades of color. So now it is getting a little bit lighter as I use it. Let's do this one. It is starting. So I can either stick with the part where I've already started using it, which right here you can see is a little bit lighter. So if I start here, it's going to color a little bit lighter. If I go into where it's a little bit darker, it's going to be a little bit darker. So you just kind of want to play with it a little bit, just to get till you get that shade that you want. But the nice thing about using a blender pen is, like I had said, you get control of the color. It's not going to blend, so you can't start out really light and then go really dark and try to blend it together. It's not going to blend the two colors together. So I'm just going to finish doing all of the pink. I'm just going to pull a little bit of the lighter. I think I got it. Oh, I see a couple buds that I missed. So when you're done with that specific color, you can just take it on a piece of paper and go like this till all the color is out, and then you can just flip to a new color. So I'm going to do the leaves, so we'll do the green. And I'm just doing this pretty quickly. So I'm just pulling a little bit of the lighter. I really don't want it to be too dark. And if it's too light and you want to go back over it as it dries, because when it dries it does lighten up quite a bit, you can just go back over it. So as you can see, it's just a different technique for coloring. And I find it pretty, relaxing. It's a great stress reliever. So you know what we didn't do is we did not do our grass along the bottom. So I'm going to get this little one. And we're going to stamp along the bottom a little bit. And then use our green. There we go. Hey, Amanda. How are you doing? And how is your job going? Alright, so we'll just go. I want it to be dark with the grass. There we go. Awesome. Tell me what you think of that. I hope you can see it on the camera, but I can see it has a watercolor look. So again, when you're changing colors, you're just going to take it out. So now we have to do our butterfly, and that I'm going to do in purple. So I'm kind of like taking a little bit off so it's not so dark, just to lighten it a little bit. But it does dry lighter. Okay. We are almost done. There we go. Alright. So when you're all done with your Stampin' Write with your block, all you're going to do at the very end is just take your baby wipe and just wipe it all off, and your block is totally clean. So you can reuse the block for other colors when you're done. I'm actually going to flip it over to make sure that it is dry. We're going to stamp the inside. So I'm just going to fussy cut out the butterfly, because we are going to pop this little girl up. I'll say girl, it's purple, with mini dimensionals in our tree. So I just wanted to remind you, if you're joining me tonight and you're commenting, liking my post, if you'd like to share it, that would be greatly appreciated. That just gets my viewer ship out there. Alright. And so I will enter you into a drawing for this very card that I am making tonight. So I'm putting a little dimensional on the back. I'm going to pull off the paper. Sticky there, and we will pop that in our tree just like that. We'll take our little guy, and I am going to put some, how to use clean the marker again. So all I'm doing is taking it, the marker, and I'm just swiping it right on scrap paper, and it all comes right out. So once there's no more color coming out, it's fully done. Alright, so we'll put a couple on here. We'll pop him on there. Isn't this so cute? I love it. So I'm going to put, again, this is a fun fold. So I've got my scallop on the left side. If you wanted to, you could put some dimensionals on there. But I try to keep in mind with shipping cards not to have so many layers. So I'm actually just going to use my Tombow glue, and I'm just going to stay with the left side of my scallop rectangle. And there we go. So it will open just like that. Alright, so now we need for our inside, I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. So 5 by 4. I like to save these little pieces for sentiments a lot of times when I cut them down, put them on my cards. So those little scraps are perfect for that. So for the inside, I'm going to be doing the mushroom and a bird. My black ink, we're going to play I Spy. There it is. I should seriously take a picture of my desk at the end of the live and post it. You guys would all be laughing. Alright, so there is my mushroom. And we're going to have the bird sitting on top. So if you mess up on stamping, you can always use the back side. So that is one of the nice things about this paper, is it does not bleed through when you're stamping. Alright, so we've got our cute little bird sitting on top of our mushroom. And we will color those really quick. So I'm actually going to use the blend and just color the base of the mushroom. So this is crumb cake. It is one of the lighter browns. And I'll be honest, I use this blend a lot. It's one of the most used blends that I have. So this is a light crumb cake. And I'm just gonna do the lines. There we go. Alright. So our red is Poppy Parade, and again, we're using the brush. We're doing the same thing. We're just squiggling a little bit on there. And then I've got the Pacific Point on there. So we're going to color our inside. We've got to do our so this is the Mango Melody, I believe. It's a really pretty light orange. It's like a yellowy orange. It's really pretty. So we'll get our blends out. We'll do some of the blue. We'll do a little blue jay. So I'm taking a little bit off. This blue is kind of a little bit lighter. So let me know what you think of this technique, if this is something that you might try at home. Let me know what you think. Alright, so again, I'm going to take a little bit out there. I'm going to lighten the bottom of the bird a little bit. So I'm not really pulling any of the dark out. I'm going to do his belly lighter. Alright, so we've got our birdie done. So to clean it, I'm just scribbling out a little bit. So we're going to do our mushroom. And I'm kind of sticking with the light. I want it to be lighter because I can always go darker, but I can never go from light to dark. And I hope you can see on the camera, it has a watercolor look to it. Alright, so we'll get our Mango Melody for our flower. And I'm actually going to use this too for the beak of the bird. There we go. Oh, we got a drawer leaf. That's our last part, so I'm just going to do a little bit. Squiggle it out. We'll go darker. You can see it because it's so small. Alright, so there's our bird and our mushroom, and we are done. Make sure you clean those brushes. And our sentiment is, glad you are my friend. I am so thankful for all of you guys. One of the things that I love about being a part of the Stampin' Up! Team and being a demonstrator is all of the friends that I have made along the way. I have made a lot of friends, and for that I am extremely appreciative. There we go. I see a lot of you guys are saying that you absolutely love this, and I'm really glad that you do. If you've got some downtime and you like to color, this is just something a little bit different than, you know, coloring with your markers. Something fun. You've got that on the inside. So there is our finished card. Finding a friend is the best discovery at all, and glad you're my friend. It's a great thinking of you card. So I will, at the end of the video, I will put everybody's name on a spinning app spin, and then I will post who the winner is. So make sure if you're watching, you comment, like my post, or you could even share my post. That would be awesome as well. I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. I appreciate you guys joining me live tonight and supporting me in what I do. If you have any questions about anything, you can message me or you can put it in the comments. You can check out my page as well, tammycapone.stampinup.net. Thank you. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.